Late in the week before that Sunday night, the Sunday night before the banks reopened Monday morning, the president told the networks, the two networks, that he wanted to go on the air and explain what had happened and what was going to happen, what was likely to happen. And because nobody really had got the complete story, I think. I might be wrong. The Secretary of the Treasury might have put it out. I don't remember. But anyway, I was at CBS, of course, and he sent word to CBS as well as NBC. And Harry Butcher, who was an innovative sort of fellow, had a bright idea, and we wrote two openings. I was there, but I didn't actually write it. It really would have been Harry Butcher who wrote the two openings. And one was a folksy, as he called it, opening, which I rambled around a little bit and said that the president wants to come in and sit down as if he could still come and sit down at your fireside and talk to you and explain this and tell you about that. And the other was a strict, formal, usual thing, introducing the president. Now, it would be natural that Harry Butcher would do that. He came to Washington as a lobbyist for something that he tried to forget, some journal called something like the Fertilizer something or other, from some Iowa Midwestern thing, something he tried to live down in later years. But he was an Iowa farm boy, I think Iowa, and his mind worked that way, and he would think it would be natural for him to do that. Anyway, they were typed out. I don't remember who did the typing, both of these introductions. And they were sent over to the White House. And on a Friday afternoon, Marvin McIntyre, who was one of the president's secretaries, but who was not the secretary, was not the press secretary, who was Steve Early, but he was one of the secretaries. He called up CBS. He said, "The president likes the folksy one." So have me do the folksy one when I introduced him. And so when we went on the air, it was strictly a CBS thing. You see, NBC hadn't heard about any of this, and I was the only one to do this sort of.
So the first Fireside Chat was not carried by NBC?
Yeah, they carried it, but they had their formal introduction. They didn't know about this, the CBS coup of giving the president a chance to have a very informal sort of introduction. That was a CBS thing.
And where did the term Fireside Chat come from?
Well, it was in the body of the.
It was of that.
Yeah, and we hadn't the faintest idea that those two words were going to be taken out of the introduction and used as the end of the language. That was just part of the introduction. And of course we weren't thinking ahead anyway that the president was going to make future broadcasts. We'd all assumed that, but we weren't thinking that far ahead. The president was going to go on the air, and we made this little, introduction, and Fireside was mentioned as if it were to be a chat with a fireside chat, or something like that. And it was a big success, and the first thing you know, the words were taken out of context and used when any president was going to make a broadcast. And I was being a foreign correspondent in Paris much, much, much later when General and President de Gaulle was going to go on the air and make a broadcast, and the French newspapers called it Le Fireside Chat.